This is one of my favorite recent purchases. It is a tiny little notebook, it was €3, and I try and bring it everywhere I go. But I didn't realize how much I needed this tiny creative project until it found me, and here's why. It all started with AI. More specifically, that AI is now kind of everywhere without us even asking for it. We have AI TVs, AI washing machines, AI to help with your taxes, even though it's completely useless, so I still need to call the people to help me with my taxes. And Duolingo now is AI first, which means, from my understanding, that they fired most of their freelance contractors and replacing them with AI. Yay! And the one that scares me and confuses me the most is AI art. I think in general AI could be a useful tool, and also it could be useful for creatives. You could maybe make a storyboard with it. I sometimes use it for brainstorming, but lately I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how AI is making them more creative, and they're sharing their AI generated art and saying how they can finally express their creativity, which is a little bit confusing because, well, AI made the art. It's like hiring a painter to make you a painting. You tell them, hey, could you make it red? Could it be a lady holding a martini glass? And they make it for you. And you wouldn't say that you made the art, the painter did. Sure, you had the idea, but the execution matters as much. And that brings me back to this tiny notebook. Initially, this notebook was meant to be used to write down my ideas. That's why the first page has the word ideas on it. But I took it to a 4-hour flight and I got kind of bored there, and I was like, hey, maybe I could sketch something in it, and I did. This was my first sketch, and I thought to myself, that was fun, maybe I should do it again, and maybe I should try and do it every day. So that's where my little creative project was born. Sure, my proportions and perspective might be off, and my camera can do a 10,000 times better job than me, but I made this, and I kind of like it. Making art and being creative is not about being perfect. You don't even have to be good at it. It's about showing up, playing around, observing things, and capturing your perspective. And so because of this, I think we should all have more mini creative projects in our lives. They don't have to be big, you don't have to share with the world, and it could have a deadline, or it could not. And it doesn't have to be a sketchbook, it can be anything. And there are many reasons why this is beneficial for our lives. And well, for my life at least. First of all, it builds focus and presence. I like how this little notebook makes me slow down and appreciate the small details of the things that I'm drawing. Oftentimes what I do is I take some pictures throughout the day and then later on just sketch from my phone to this little sketchbook. And especially when it comes to buildings, Riga has a lot of beautiful buildings, but I don't really have time there to just stand and look at it. So I really enjoy the process of looking at it from my photo and transfer it to my sketchbook, because then I can actually see how much detail was put into this building and makes me appreciate it more. Plus, I have tried meditation a couple of times already and it doesn't really click with me. And if I have a quiet place and I can just sketch my sketches, it kind of feels like a form of meditation. You are like in a calm, focused state. It also gives me a nice chance to reflect on my day. I take pictures of something that catches my eye or interests me, or a funny thing that happens, and I try and replicate it in this notebook, and just makes me think about what I did today. Plus, for me, I'm a visual person, so it's nice to look back at it and then I see and immediately remember where and what it was. The next reason for why you should have a mini project, it is something that you can look forward to. When I started filling out this notebook, I was really excited to see what I'm gonna sketch today. What is it gonna be? Sometimes it's really easy and sometimes it's not that easy to come up with things, but still, it's kind of fun. It also teaches you to be okay with imperfection, because I have some sketches that I do not like. There are some sketches that I'm like, hell yeah, but some of them are like, regrets. But it's a sketchbook, who cares? And it's my sketchbook. So, I mean, it's not the best, and I'm not sure if I like the way that I colored it, but I think it's cute. I mainly made this section. And in general, that's kind of the whole point. You try, you mess up, you try again, and again and again, until you finally actually have something cool. And then you decide to start something new, and then the cycle continues. I think we're getting used to this instant gratification of you're immediately good at something, or you immediately have something that you want, which I think is not a good thing. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, probably I'm also like that in some ways, but I think this is a good reminder that you have to fail many times until you have something actually nice to show. And last but not least, you're making something for yourself. You're playing, you're experimenting, you're exploring what you like and what you don't like, and you don't need to show it to anybody. I mean, I'm showing this notebook to you now because I want to, but there's still half of it that I need to fill out, so I don't know if I'm gonna share that. You don't have to put it on social media, even though I did a couple of times in my stories, but I don't share every sketch that I make because some of them look kind of rough. So, let me give you a couple of options of what you could do. Because for me, I really like my little sketchbook. I like drawing in it, but maybe it's not your thing. So here are a couple of things that you could do instead. First, but not the most, scrapbooking or junk journaling. Collecting rocks and painting them. Start reviewing places on Google. The places that have 1 or 2 reviews, or some random stuff like bridges or trash cans. Start crafting ransom notes for your friends. Trying all different kinds of teas or apples and writing down what's good and bad about them. Making a comic strip. Start a photo project. Maybe photograph every neighborhood cat you see. Or usually when I solo travel, my mini goal is to get a good picture of myself, which sometimes is easier said than done. Writing a poem or a haiku. Start documenting things, your life or the sky or textures of buildings. And just start collecting things like brochures. As you can see, my walls are filled with different brochures that I found, and I really like how it looks. Or in general, pick something that you did as a child and stopped doing for some reason, or something that you always wanted to try. It can become some sort of hobby, but it could also just be like a short-term goal. For me, it's filling up this little guy and then seeing if I want to get a new one or not. In general, what I'm trying to say is I think that everybody should have some kind of mini project in their lives. It doesn't matter if you're an artist or if you're an accountant. Creativity and creating art was never gate-kept by a certain group of people. It is always available for everybody because anybody can create something. It's just some people are better at it because they kept showing up, they kept failing, and at a certain point their work just improved and was better. I'm really happy to see the pages filling up. The end result is uniquely mine, and I love the process. It helps me relax, it clears my mind, and it brings me joy. So if you ever needed a sign to start your mini creative project, then I guess it's this video. So other than that, I'll see you next time.